Hey everyone, Gypsy Graham and Mike Vassar. We have a Hinge how-to today. We're going to actually give you a new skill set if you don't have it and show you how to install. I'll let Mike talk about specifics here, but these hinges.
So we're following up with last week's video. So last week we went through a long video on all the different pin hinges we have. And one of the things we talked about, sorry I keep bumping the table, is that we have our drill jigs. And one of the things that Jim brought up is we should probably talk about how to use the drill jig also. All right. So what I did is I set up a quick little demo here. I've got one side is already done. It's drilled, and I sanded off the
Ah,
corners so it resembles your control surface, right? And then, as you can see, what I've done is I've marked a line. I've marked the where the
center
holes
line.
are, the center
Right.
line. Okay, I teed that off. So these are your guidelines to match up with the two hinge points or hinge holes that have already been drilled on the control surface. And then this is where the drill jig comes in. So in this case, I'm working with the 3/16. And what you want to do is you'll see that there's this whole flat area where the rivet does not. So this is the drill jig just flipped over, where the rivet is not there. So that will go on either side of whatever you're trying to
Oh,
drill out.
okay.
Okay, in this case, it would be like the wing or whatnot.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then you line up. See if I can get you a good shot inside. I don't know if you so you kind of see the line in there. So you get your line centered up there. Okay. Now you take your drill, 3/16. In this case, at 3/16, right? And the drill jig will hold that in place. And now we can go ahead and drill out your hole for the um, pin hinge.
So do we need to, on our drill bit, tell it how deep to go, putting a piece of tape on there, or do we
Yeah,
just drill?
yeah, you want to do that. I'm just just for you know general
Showing how the
purposes of the
tool works.
video here. Yeah,
Right.
so you put a piece of tape, put a stopper on your drill, so on and so forth. So what I'll do is I'm just go ahead and do this other side here real quick. Center that up. If you don't want to hold it by hand, of course you can put a clamp around the wings. Fill this out. Okay, now get rid of that. Now, what we'll do is you can drop your pin hinge in. All right, and I'm not really worried about. Center this up. Sorry, I'm not really worried about angle on it right now, as long
Okay.
as it's not dramatic.
Right.
Okay, so you get it close. Right now, we're not worried about it, and we'll dry fit everything. So I'll dry fit my control surface, and so there you go. So that's how the pin hinges work, and so you get a really beautiful scale look to them. All right, and uh, your control surfaces are able to be worked on. Next week, what we could do, or control surfaces are able to be operated and controlled properly. Next week, we'll go over horns, and so the next step on this would be adding a horn uh, onto so that you can pull on
Right.
that. Okay.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing we definitely got to talk about is gluing these in. Now, last week we did talk about using canopy glue or sorry about that. I hit the wire for the camera. Of course, I screwed it up. All right. Or 30-minute epoxy. The reason for that is you want time. Okay. When you put the glue in, open up my canopy glue here. So when I put glue on here, right? Oop, 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 oop. Put a little glue here, and then I put that hinge in, right? Now I still have to glue up the other side. The
Right.
other hole, right here, just put a little bit of glue. Right. Now, if I were to use a CA, right, or super glue,
Yeah.
those would be locked in.
Yeah. Be over.
It'd be over. Right. And you could see they're not straight, they're not square. I still have to glue this in, and what would happen is you would have a binding, and you couldn't, your control surface would not work properly. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue up my other side. Okay. And here's the trick. Manually operate that control surface. And by manually operating that, what is happening is everything is now lined up. And by using a slower cure glue, canopy glue, 30-minute epoxy, what I have done is allowed that time, given me time to work, and allowed to operate that control surface and get that hinge, the whole line of them, squared up so that you
Right.
don't have any binding issues.
Right. It can turn inside and adjust itself.
That's it. So, another quick tip, a little hat tip to Dubro, actually. If you are worried about getting glue in the joint of your hinges, take a little bit of the rail zip, and lubricate those hinges before you do your gluing, and that will stop the glue from getting into those hinges. You don't have to worry about gluing your hinges together. The
Awesome.
Joint. So that is our quick how-to on how to use the drill jig to make the pinholes for all of your Robart pin hinges.
I love it. Good stuff.
All right. Questions, Jim? You got any questions for me while I got this?
I don't. You vocally described it, and now we've shown everyone how to do it, and I think this really will answer any questions visually that anyone might have.
Wonderful. And if anybody's got any further questions on any of these, let's see. Yeah, there I am. If anybody's got any questions on any of this, please give us a call, 630-584-7616. You can talk to myself. You can talk to my business partner, Dan. We'll get you taken care of. And run out to your local hobby shop, get these pin hinges, and start making some beautiful airplanes.
I love it. Hey, everyone. We've been with Mike Vassar from Robart. We're talking about hinge how-tos on this. We have more to come, so be sure and join us again. I'm Jim T. with RC Groups. Mike, as always, thanks for lending your time and expertise.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, everybody.